There'll be a budget in the fall. In the short term, it's a very short parliamentary session that is coming up. The speech from the throne is on the 27th, as people know. The House is due to rise under the House's rules by the 20th of June, so it's really 3 weeks. We have some very clear priorities, which, as you know from following those who followed the campaign, those who followed my remarks, those who followed my opening press conference, would include the federal government taking all the steps it can to help create one Canadian economy out of 13, in addition initiatives such as the middle class tax cut. But there will be a budget in the fall.
Abigail Beeman, CTV News.
Yep.
To that point, with your economic experience as a former governor of two central banks,
Yep.
why not present Canadians with a budget at the very first opportunity?
Well, this is in fact based on my economic experience. There is not much value in my judgment, and it's considered judgment, and it's judgment based on experience, that there is not much value in trying to rush through a budget in a very narrow window, 3 weeks, with a new cabinet, effectively a new finance minister, just reappointed, but a new finance minister, rush that through, for example, in advance of the NATO summit, which happens after Parliament rises. So the NATO summit, 23rd, 24th, that is going to be a very important event for the security of Canada, but also it will have fiscal implications. It will have budgetary implications for Canada. That's one example. To have a budget before we substantially advance further our discussions with the Americans with respect to our economic partnership, to have greater clarity around that. I'm not saying we'll have perfect clarity, but to have greater clarity around that. Again, that's another factor. A third factor, one of the things that we emphasized and are working on from the start of this new mandate is improving the efficiency of government spending, looking where we can reduce costs at all possible, and improving the productivity of the public sector. We are launching that those set of initiatives, having greater visibility on that as we prepare a budget. All of those three factors, so defense spending, the economic outlook, including the tariff relationship with the United States and the efficiency, all of those coming together, we will have a much more comprehensive, effective, ambitious, prudent budget in the fall. You do these things right, and that's what we're going to do. Echo, let's see.
Prochaine question.
Good afternoon, Prime Minister Carney. Olivia Stefanovich, CBC News. As you prepare to get ready for this meeting with Vice President Vance today, we know that the U.S. is urging Canada to increase defense spending. There are now reports that NATO's chief is calling on NATO members to increase defense spending to 5% by 2032. Are you prepared to do that?
A couple of things. One, the way we look at defense spending is from the perspective of security of Canadians. So first, and in a more dangerous and divided world. So first and foremost, we have signaled and we've started to take serious action, including with over-the-horizon radar and with troop presence, air, land, sea, cyber in the north, but securing Canada's Arctic, securing our borders, greater participation as required with our allies. So all of those are coming together. The question, I've had this discussion with a number of other leaders, G7 leaders just over the last 24 hours, the importance of starting with the outcome, what are we getting, and then working backwards to what it costs, not starting with a number or a percentage that is a cost and then try to figure out how to spend it. That's the exact opposite way of how things should be done. So that's why it's important to have these intensive discussions that we are having with allies, G7 allies, European allies, the Americans, the Australians and others, so that we're specifying how to get things done, how to accomplish greater security for Canadians. But it goes back to a question that was asked earlier, which is, why don't you have a budget tomorrow? Well, the reason you don't have a budget tomorrow is one of the reasons is you're having those discussions. We are having those discussions and determining what's necessary, how we're going to get there, what the fiscal implications are. All that points to a fall budget. Thank you.